CAA play is in full swing. The Tiger Basketball Report, brought to you by the Green Turtle, starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
White Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and is locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, fans, to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Skerry. And Coach, Tigers had a couple of home games this past weekend in CAA play. Didn't work out the way you wanted. Let's start with the College of Charleston, which happened last Thursday. Tigers eventually losing by 12. It was a game that was tight at times, and then Charleston would pull away, but the Tigers would come back. What was it that you think didn't get you over the hump?
Well, I mean, Charleston's really good. Grant Riller and Jarrell Brantley are
one of the top 3 duos in the country.
Yeah, so I think they thought they both played well, so they're a tough team to beat. I thought Charleston's defense was good. I don't think we got enough easy shots. And so, because we didn't get enough easy shots, we didn't have a great rebounding night. It was even on the glass, which I think we need to be substantially higher than teams on the glass. We just, so we had like moments where get it to 5, get it to 6, get it back to 5, get it back to 7, and then, it just some untimely plays or costly turnovers. But I don't want to take anything away from Charleston. I thought they were ready to play. We certainly were excited to play too. It was more like Rilla hurt us in the first half, and then we did a good job on him in the second half. I thought Brantley hurt us down the stretch. He had 7 straight and one flurry when I think we came out and cut it to 2 or something like that. And so that, I don't know, we couldn't do enough against a good basketball club.
They are, as you mentioned, Brantley and Rill are both first-team All-CAA type players. In the game last Sunday against William and Mary, Pierce and Knight, you did a good job on, but Milan, a third guy, hurt you. Were you worried about that in the Charleston game, that if you did a really good job on Brantley and Riller, that maybe somebody else would come up and hurt you? I
mean, I think we know that all the teams have multiple guys that are good players per se. But I thought one big thing I didn't think we did a good job of last week, which was surprising coming home, was we always talk about shutting, we call it the red zone down, the paint or the area just off the paint. And I thought the ball got in there too easily. And I think when that happens, it becomes one of those, I'm not in my gap early enough, then you're late, and now kickouts happen. Or in the case against Charleston, those two guys can where those two guys are both really good positionally. They make plays for themselves off the dribble. You know what I mean? They can kind of. It's a tough 1-2 punch when you have two guys that can kind of get their own shot whenever they want, and both those guys are really good at doing that. So I don't think as a team we did a good enough job of kind of shutting the paint down. It certainly requires a team effort against those guys to do it.
Then Saturday, the Tigers take on UNCW. They had played a tough game on Thursday night at Madison, won in double overtime. So they had snapped a 6-game losing streak to win that game. So they were coming in with some momentum, and this was another game that was tight throughout. The Tigers could never quite get over the hump.
Yeah, it's like I told you in the post-game radio. So they're close, no cigars. We got to figure out a way to get some of those cigars. We haven't had enough of those. Not for lack of effort. I don't like the way we started. I felt like we
10-0 run.
Yeah, we felt like we were running uphill after that. Did a great job on Kaycock, who's obviously he's like RoboCop out there. He just
another first-team All-CAA player.
Yeah, we did a good job on him, but we didn't. In a quick turnaround, we didn't do a good job, I don't think, of keeping the ball out of the paint, and that led to some guys getting open shots. Right now we're at a point we have to be elite defensively and on the glass. And I wouldn't say we were like awful in those two areas last week, but we weren't elite. And I that's something that we have to be in order to grind out wins. Like I said, I don't think it's a lack of effort. I'd say more our execution, our attention to details at times has to just kind of improve. Sometimes I think when you come home, if there's static and whether you're worried about missing a shot or our guys shouldn't be worried about minutes. They're all playing. But it's something we've addressed yesterday, and hopefully it'll carry over. Like I said, I don't think it's an intent. We're exactly halfway through the season, and it's not where we want it to be. But there is certainly enough basketball left to give it a run to where we'd like it to be.
All right, so then the Tigers on Wednesday night will take on a different opponent. You step out of conference this week to take on Cornell, the Big Red. They've had kind of an up and down season. They're coming in at 6-7, although some of their wins have been against non-Division I opponents. Led by Matt Morgan, he's averaging 22.5 points a game, rebounds well, and then a name that people are going to be familiar with, Jim Boeheim, the son of the Syracuse head coach. When you look at Cornell, what do you see?
Yeah, we ended up taking the game because the Ivies don't start their league play because of their academic schedule till like another week or so later. And we needed another home game, and we had to bye week early. And because we had so many new guys, when I did it, I thought it made a lot of sense. The later you play games, the more time you have to gel. And I didn't know we'd have a few injuries and be down some bodies. But Morgan's really good. He's like top 10 in the country in scoring. So in a league that has some elite guards like Justin Wright Foreman and Grant Riller, and Madison has some good guards, this will be another really good test. Savvy guy, knows how to get fouled, scores it in different ways. Very, very good player, very explosive. Playing. Coach Boeheim's son's a left-handed kid that really comes off the bench, but he's
your second leading scorer.
He's a starter that gives them boost off the bench. He's a tough kid, but he can really southpaw that can shoot it. So it'll be a good test for us. Some of the things I just talked to you about defensively, we'll need to hopefully make some quick strides on Wednesday for something that as we start the second half of the year.
All right, so the Tigers will take on the Big Red Wednesday night, 7 o'clock at CQ Arena. I'll have the call for you starting at 6:45 on CBS Sports Radio 1300 and TowsonTigers.com. Famous Cornell grad, can you come up with anything?
I cannot.
Superman, Christopher Reeve.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The Man of Steel.
And Towson Deputy Athletic Director Tricia Brandenburg. Another one.
Could have a poll. Who's more famous?
Vince Angotti's son, Vince Jr.
No.
We got Cornell coming from everywhere.
The Big Red.
Tune in later this week when the coach and I will preview the Tigers' upcoming game against the Dukes of James Madison on Saturday. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Skerry, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report presented by the Green Turtle.